I stepped into the ballroom wearing the suit my wife had gifted me last Christmas. Light from the chandeliers shimmered across polished marble. Music swirled through the air. For a fleeting second, I almost let myself feel proud of her. Almost. Then came the laughter. Heads turned. Fingers pointed. A voice rang out, clear enough for the whole room to hear. Test run. The husband's here. The words echoed inside my skull. Test run. As if I'd been nothing but a rehearsal. There she was, Hannah, standing in the spotlight, radiant in her tailored gown, the new queen celebrating her law firm's grand opening. She smiled at me, sharp and cruel, then slipped an envelope into my hand, as if it were part of the performance. "The first case my firm will handle," she said smoothly, "is our divorce. Sign it and leave." I didn't argue. I didn't plead. I didn't give her the tears she was waiting for. I only gave a small nod, tucked the envelope under my arm, and walked out. The silence trailing me was heavier than their laughter. What none of them knew was that I had been preparing for this moment. I had already seen enough weeks before. I first met Hannah in law school. She was ambitious, magnetic, impossible not to admire. We were never equals. Not really. I was already building wealth, running investments she barely understood. She told me I made her feel safe, that she could chase her dreams because I would shoulder the rest. And I did. I paid for her life, the condo, the cars, the trips. When she decided she wanted her own law firm, I didn't hesitate. I wrote the check, $20 million. No partners, no debt. It was all hers, at least on paper. I believed it was love. She saw it as leverage. The first crack appeared over dinner one night. A friend of hers laughed too loudly when Hannah introduced me as her practice marriage. A joke, she claimed, but her eyes said otherwise. Later, I found the proof. Her phone lit up while she showered. Trust had always been my nature, but that night I looked, messages to her friends, voice notes mocking me, plans for upgrading once the firm was launched. They called me a placeholder, a stepping stone, a fool. I didn't confront her. That would have been too easy. Instead, I took notes. I began with the finances. Every cent she spent came from me. Quietly, I rerouted the payments. The firm's operating costs, staff salaries, even the sponsorships for that glittering launch party, all flowed through channels I controlled. She never bothered to check. Next came the contracts. My lawyers worked quietly, tightening clauses, embedding traps, shifting ownership piece by piece. On the surface, it was all hers. In reality, it belonged to me. I left just enough breadcrumbs to keep her confident, to let her keep laughing. And I waited for a grand opening. When she pressed that envelope into my hand, I didn't bother to open it. I stepped into the night, pulled out my phone, and tapped a single button. Accounts froze. Payments disappeared. The luxury trip she had booked, gone. The lease on her firm's office, terminated. Catering, entertainment, travel, all canceled in seconds. Most important of all, my $20 million investment was recalled, liquidated. Her empire collapsed like glass shattering on marble. By the time I got home, my phone was buzzing nonstop. 456 missed calls. Hannah, her partners, her so-called friends. Panic spreading faster than champagne could pour. I ignored them all. Then came a knock at my door. It wasn't Hannah. It was her managing partner, her real partner, in every sense. The man she thought I hadn't noticed. His face was pale, sweat dripping despite the cool air. "You can't just pull the funding," he stammered. "I can," I said evenly. "And I did." He tried bluffing, spitting out legal threats, but I had already closed every gap. He knew it. His voice cracked before he even finished his plea. "What do you want?" I let the silence stretch before answering. "Nothing," I said. "I already have it." The news spread fast. By morning, headlines screamed, "Law firm collapses hours after grand opening." Employees fled. Creditors circled. Investors pulled out. Hannah kept calling. This time her voice wasn't cruel. It was desperate, begging, promising. I never answered. Later, I heard she showed up at her office to find the locks changed, the staff unpaid, the dream in ruins. The same friends who laughed with her now whispered behind her back. I sat alone in my study, the divorce envelope still sealed on my desk. I thought about the years I gave her, the trust, the blind devotion. And I thought about the moment she humiliated me in front of everyone, convinced she'd already won. She wanted a spectacle. She got one, just not the one she imagined. I don't need to see her face to know what it looks like now. Shock, rage, fear. The 3 stages of betrayal. Served back to her cold. I wasn't a test run. I was the final exam.